Hey, what is going on? My name is Chris, and today we're talking the body breakthrough blueprint, the exact process that I use in my business that is responsible for the last 3 years in losing 2,000 pounds of fat. It's pretty bomb, and it works especially for people that are incredibly busy parents. So if you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of hours in the day to go to the gym, to make all your meals right when you need to eat them, and doesn't have any other responsibility like a big career or kids shuttling around, these sort of things, if that is not you, if you're somebody that's like, I can go to the gym whenever I want for however long I want, and I just work a regular, part-time job or regular 9 to 5 with no kids, nothing. Hey, this is not going to be for you. There's other people and things that work out there for you, but this is for people that are strapped on time, but also recognize they have a massive, massive hole in their life. Is that they have the body, they don't have the body they want. They got the business that they love. They got the white picket fence. They got the family. They got everything they ever wanted in life except the body, and the body that's slowing them down. And so if that's you, you're in the home here, and I'm going to give you the exact process that is, again, responsible for tons and tons of weight. But before I do that, I should say, who the heck am I? Because I think that might be important for some context. My name is Chris, and that is me. Okay, but that's not always me. I've never been always super fit. In fact, that was me in my gym circa 2018. 2018. Okay, me, big old dude, 188 pounds, 5'7", small frame. Okay, ashamed, hated the way I looked, had not a lot of energy. I drank about between 6 and 8 Monsters a day. I went out to eat 4 times, 5 times per week, not tracking my food, working my butt off, super strong, really, really unfit, really, really unhappy, incredibly depressed. But it was hard for me to balance this business, although it was a fitness business, and my wife and my kids. Shuttling, being there as a father, being there as a husband, it's really, really tough. And so if this is you, if you're like, man, I could feel that I've been there or I'm there right now, hey, I'm going to show you exactly how I went from that to that. Cool? And not only that, but I got older, okay, and I got fitter. So these two things here are the same race, 2 years apart. So you can see at the top, I finished in 6 hours and 32 minutes, which is pretty wild, okay? Same race, it's a 13-mile race. Okay? I finished it 3 hours faster, 75% better placing overall, 67% better placing in males, and 67% better placing for my age group. All while being older, having less time, getting better results. So how did I do that? And how did I help other people that are just like you and I, that are busy parents, that have full-time careers, like top right over there, nanny, nurse, pastor. I think she worked in a restaurant, like a manager, hotel, baker, travel agent. That was a stay-at-home mom. But she works at a golf course too, okay, seasonally. And Alex, software engineer. Middle, I'm not going to say her name. Actually, I'm going to say her name. Erin, teacher. Carly, teacher. Heather, counselor. Sherry, pastor and restaurant, I believe. Bo works in the AC industry and HVAC. And how I helped 3 women using the same framework all lose over 100 pounds. 4 women losing 100 pounds, all of which were within a year. Pretty bomb. And so all these ladies here have jobs, kids, responsibilities. They were not killing themselves in the gym. They were not starving themselves to death. You're doing things in the right order. I'm going to give you the exact blueprint of what we did for real. Okay? And more, but that's enough. Okay? A little bit more background. I've invested over $500,000 in my education and in my craft. So I'm not somebody who's just some gym bro with tons of tattoos, backwards hat, wearing a tank top. Although, hey, that's part of me. The reality is I've done the work, I've done the time. I've also done over 10,000 hours of in-person fitness coaching with over 5,000 men and women over a 14-year time frame. So again, this is not something that's just a fun once in a while thing or that I just got started on. I just recently, in the last 3 years, unlocked what really helps the people that I love most, people that are just like me, people that are busy, people that are parents, people that want to be healthy for their kids, because I got into this business not because I'm a gym bro, not because I enjoy, wearing what I get to wear and do all the things. I got into this business because my dad died at 37 of a heart attack. And all I want is for parents to be around for their kids so that they don't have to experience a lot of the heartache and a lot of the hardship that I went through being a kid with a single parent that's severe alcoholic, tons of emotional, and some, not to me, but to my siblings, physical abuse. It hasn't been the best road. And so all I want is for you guys to be so happy, so healthy, that you can not only do this for yourself, but if it happened to you, it's probably happened to your parents. If it happened to your parents, it's probably happened to them. It's like we can stop this generational pain today by giving you these frameworks, okay? So enough about me and my education and things, okay? But my hope here is I can share with you the steps that I've used to absolutely help my people crush their goals and have a great start. The problem that you're experiencing is you have exhausted every option you could think of to lose weight. And any hope of losing weight requires you, as you currently know, to try a failed solution, hoping it changes this time. Because. Just hope. Please, be different. Please, work. Please, this time's different. It's a different time. It's literally a different day, so it should work this time. Or the things that you think might work, you simply don't have the time for. You don't have the time to do an hour and a half of cardio every day. You don't have the time to starve yourself. You don't have the ability to want to just not work. You can't just go and spend part-time job going at the gym or prepping 75 different meals or making all these sorts of different things or taking all the pills and stuff. You don't have that. You don't want to do that. Or if you tried it doesn't work for you. But the real problem is that you didn't know that there's another solution that actually works that's vastly different than any other thing that I've seen out there and involves a completely different method and methodology behind losing the weight. It's really awesome. So it is called the metabolic trifecta. Okay, the metabolic trifecta. These three things, when you have them in the proper order, is going to get you losing fat at breakneck speed. It's going to keep the fat off too because your body's running right. You learn what you're doing and how to do it, and then it's kind of like riding a bike. Are you going to fall off a bike after you're riding it for so long? It's really hard to do that unless you know. But like it's really challenging to do that, okay, to fall off a bike on purpose. And so I know you're like, wait, there's 4 things on here because there's one piece that kind of envelops everything, okay? The metabolic trifecta is this, though. Fitness, function, food. Fitness, function, food. Without one of these 3 pieces, you're going to see for yourself why you haven't been successful up to this point. Specifically the function piece, which we'll get at towards the end. But don't jump ahead because I want to make sure you get everything. I'm going to give you actionable steps that you can take today to start getting this thing humming. So when it comes to the order in which we need to put emphasis on, there's 4 things that we need to put emphasis on. The first one's fitness. The second one's what's called NEAT. NEAT is non-exercise active thermogenesis, basically being active. You see, I could do this video sitting down on my butt, but I'm doing it standing, okay? Because my lifestyle requires me to be more active. If I'm more active, I burn more calories, and plus, it doesn't hurt my back as much. So I'm able to move around more. And in doing so, I just so happen to burn more calories, which means if I'm trying to lose fat, it's easier for me to lose fat because I'm more active. If I'm trying to maintain weight, I get to eat more food because I'm more active. You see, there's no negative repercussion of being more active. Third one's food or fuel. Fourth one, function. Okay? And so most other programs have some sort of fitness component to it. There's fitness. You got to work out. There's some sort of component of food, which is good, especially when you're trying to lose fat. It's good, okay, to have some sort of food component. But none of them that I know of have what's called a function component. And function is how you relate to your environment, both internally and externally. We're going to dive into all of that, what that means in a bit, but here's some steps you can take, okay? I guess before then, see what happens without function. Without having that piece, very, very tough. Very tough to get insane results. Most of the time, you get about 2/3 the way there. So without that function piece, you're not going to make it to your goal. You're going to settle for less. You're going to come up with tons and tons of problems. So fitness. When it comes to fitness, 5 to 10% of your results are going to come from this area, from fitness. Now, you might be like, Chris, your company's called Trailblazer Fitness Academy. Why is it only 5 to 10? Why is it not more? Well, a couple of things. One, you don't have time to make it more. You can't work out for a lot of time. You likely don't have it. So for us to have it be more of our results, we have to magically make more time. And where are you going to sacrifice that time? At work, stalling your career, time away from your kids, time away from sleep, from your spouse, from your church. Where are you going to take the time from? Tough. We can find 3 to 4 times per week that you're dilly-dallying on your phone, that you're not being efficient, and or create better time management so that we can have the 20, 30 minutes 3 to 4 times per week to get an effective, challenging workout that's going to change you. Okay? So for fitness, some things. One, you should enjoy it. You don't have to beat yourself up to do the fitness. So you don't have to murder yourself into the ground each time you try to do it. Okay? And each time your workouts should consist of some good stuff. Now this is Stacy. Okay? Stacy was a client of mine at my gym. Notice that's my gym in the background. Okay? But she was somebody who went there that couldn't make it to a lot of the time. She has an in-home daycare. Kids get dropped off at 7:30 in the morning, and then they're picked up at 5:30 at night. So if she could make it to one time, it would be the 6 o'clock session, and that would mean that every single person needs to pick up their kid right away to get there on time, because she lived about 25 minutes away from the gym. Okay? So for her to make that happen, really, really tough. So I was like, hey, Stacy, what if we did this instead? Let's get you workouts so you can do at home that fit your current fitness level too. Because we were just beating her up in the gym. The workouts were really hard. They were very, very hard. Didn't quite match her schedule. Some people matched it perfectly. Other people didn't work. And so after we started doing that, and we did other components of this process, see, Stacy lost 115 pounds, 16% body fat in 8 months' time. 8 months, 115 pounds. Can you believe that? That girl right there. Her name's right there. If you're like, oh, there's no way, look her up. She's right there. Okay? So we did workouts at home instead of having her in a gym because it fit her schedule better. She didn't have to try to make it to the sessions. She could make time or find time on these ones. Make sense? And even then, if she couldn't make that time, I create workouts for her. And the workouts that I create follow this framework when it comes to strength training. There's 5 main components of a workout: push-pull, squat, hinge, core, and accessory. Squat and hinge you can do interchangeably. A push is moving weight away from you, horizontally or vertically. A pull is moving weight towards you, horizontally or vertically. A squat or a hinge is where your butt goes back and then down, up and then forward. A hinge is where your butt goes back and forward. I do it much better, but I'm so incredibly sore, so I'm doing my best. Okay, so squat or hinge, that's what they are. That's the differences. A core is a flexion, extension, or rotation, or resisting that. So like a plank is a core movement because you're resisting when you're in a plank position, right? Your back is, you're trying to not have your back do this, so you have to tighten your abs to be flat. So it's a core, it's an ab core exercise. Or if you did it the other way, where you were laying down on your back, I should say on your stomach, and you lifted your arms up this way, now you're doing extension. Make sense? So that's core. And then accessory just uses one joint. Okay? So an elbow joint, a shoulder joint, a hip joint, a knee. Gosh, sorry, now I gotta get really far. Knee joint. I'm just moving my knee, right? An ankle joint, right? So you pick one exercise there. Just pick one. Pick one that fits each of those things. So push, pull, squat, hinge, core, and accessory. If you're trying to get stronger, you want to start with 4 sets, doing the same exercise 4 times. of 6 to 8 repetitions. That's times you perform the exercise. So in this case, following this workout here, a push-up would be like 6 push-ups. But if you're like, I can do more than that, cool. Make a movement that's harder, that's a push. Maybe you have dumbbells. Maybe you have a bar. Maybe you're on a machine that pushes horizontally. There's no wrong answer, which is the best part, okay? And then if you're trying to get bigger, like create bigger muscles, you want to do 5 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, where it's really, really hard to get to 15. Make sense? Yeah, okay? But just doing fitness alone is not going to work, okay? Because this is Michael, okay? Michael, there on the left, he was running triathlons at that weight. And then we had him lose 80 pounds, and he's running triathlons at that weight. And magically, he's doing it so much faster. He's able to run 50 miles, maintaining around a 10-minute mile pace the entire time. That's remarkable. That's insane. That's so good. Holy smokes. It was because even him, somebody who's doing triathlons, cannot outwork a bad diet. You simply can't do it. Okay? And so what we did is for him, it would be really disingenuous for me to give you exact targets to hit and give you roundabouts because, and I know other people do it, but like there's such a gross, just like shotgun approach. And for somebody like you who like, it's really challenging for me to just want to, I find it odd to say, just do this when it's not really specific. I just don't like that feeling, right? I care too much about getting you good results that if I just give you like a broad thing to hit, it's like me guessing, and I just hate guessing. I like to just say, this is what you do, okay? So to give you a better idea of what you could do, looking at your plate, 40% of your plate should be a protein source. So think chicken breast, turkey, hamburger, steak, pork, tenderloin, egg whites, yogurt, something like this. Fat and carbs should be 30%. Okay, and you can pick one of each. Should be not a lot of the food. Okay, should be that one. And 30% should be vegetables. Okay, so if you do it this way, we can ensure a couple things. One is that you're eating whole ingredient foods. So you're not eating like, mostly at least. Okay, you're not eating like pre-made peanut butter and jelly. You're not eating like chicken tenders, right? Because it's like a protein and a carb mixed together. Like you're eating like protein, chicken breast, rice with some butter, broccoli, whatever. Actually, we don't do that in this program. You cannot eat chicken, broccoli, and rice. Don't eat it. So it should be illegal. Okay? But you catch this, right? If you just eat ingredients, you don't really have to worry about minerals. You don't have to worry about insulin stuff. You don't have to worry about fiber intake. Because you're eating foods that are ingredients of things. They're the basic foundations of what food is. So you're able to eat good stuff and not have to worry about the minutia of that little specific stuff for the most part. Okay. And if you're worried, daily vitamin. Okay. That'll help you fill in the gaps like supplements should be. Then 1 day a week, you eat a protein serving and a vegetable serving, and then a serving of whatever you'd like. And then do the same thing in that day. So you eat 4 meals. Typically, program we eat 3. So normally during the week, you have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, looking like the protein, fat, carb, and vegetable thing. And then 1 day a week, you have this. Because really, at the end of the day, are you and I paid to look a certain way? Do we need to look like an action figure? Is that really the end goal? Or is your end goal to just be healthy, to eat foods you enjoy, to not have to feel shame and guilt for eating foods that are like cake and ice cream sometimes? Or are you trying to be somebody who wants to look like a model, who wants to get on a bodybuilding stage? If that's the case, it's programming for you. We don't do that. I don't do that. I don't want to do that. So this is not for you. Okay? If somebody wants to just be healthy and create a good relationship with food, understand how nutrition works, this is how you can play the game to get the ball rolling there. Okay? And this is Sherry. Sherry was in that boat. She was eating good foods. She was eating really good foods. It just wasn't eating the right amount of them. Okay, she was eating like her supplement drawer is like floor to ceiling. She's got all the supplements. Okay, but it wasn't until one we found out what foods make her body run well. That's number one, and number two is that we taught her how to eat the right amounts of the foods that nothing changed. So you can see from one to the next, those are 6 months apart. Pretty stellar results, if you know, ask me. if I don't mind saying so myself. Okay, but these are some of the meals that she would eat on average. See, look, it's like not boring stuff. Got a salad, got yourself like a soft serve ice cream, some egg white omelet with some ham and a bunch of mix-ins there. I believe that's a turkey pita like sandwich with some cinnamon yogurt, beef stick, which is an interesting meal, but hey, live your life, dude. It's what she enjoys. It's not what I like. Hey, this is something to eat. I teach people how to plan their meals and all that sort of stuff. Pickles and carrots. So simple stuff, very easy to make because like everybody else, she doesn't have a lot of time. She's got a bunch of kids. She's got church obligations. She's got all that. So it's hard for her to go, I'm going to just make meals, completely different meals, Pinterest and Insta-worthy meals every single meal. It's just not really the case. We need to be fast and efficient, and she's able to learn that in the process. Okay. And then function. Again, this is a big one. I could spend 10 hours talking about different function things that we do in the program, what we need to do. But I'm going to give you one big one that I think a lot of people run into. Okay. This is Chris, okay, with a K. Chris started my program, and the first thing she asked me was, do you work with anybody that's going through menopause or is menopausal? Because I'm going through menopause, and it's so impossible for me to lose weight. I can't do it. And she said, like, menopause a bunch of times. She said, do you know anybody that's in the program that has it that I can talk to? I'm like, well, Stacey lost 100 pounds, and she's in it. So, like, 115 pounds, actually. She's a good advocate for it. I think it's going to work well. And we have other people, too. Kirsten was another example. She has 40-something pounds in the program. Freaking amazing. She crushed it. And so this is Chris. And so Chris, what we did is we go, okay, Chris, when it comes to function, this is how you relate to your environment. Now, your environment is external and internal, here and there. And so what we did is we go, okay, Chris, you got a belief. A belief is neither true nor false, right? You could believe that, Disneyland is not the best place and the happiest place in the whole world. And I would say, with a guy with a Disney sleeve, I would say, you are wrong. But it's not wrong because it's a belief. A belief is not true or false. It's just true to us, right? And so when we look at this, we go, cool. Belief, true or false? There's a true aspect to it, or how's it true, and how's it false? We then go, or what's the true version and what's the false version? What evidence do we have for it to be true? What evidence do we have for it to be false? Then we figure out, because it's a belief, which one of them, if we held on to the new belief or the evidence behind which one of them gets us to the goal. Because a belief that leads us away from our goal is not serving us. It just doesn't work. And so the belief was, because I'm going through menopause, it is hard for me to lose weight. Okay, cool. What's the true version of that story? The true version is, yeah, I cannot lose weight. The false version of that story is, I can lose weight. And the goal is for her to get to 158 pounds. Okay, that was her goal. Very specific. She's a very specific chick, which is fine. Which is totally cool. And it was like a time in her life where she's like, when I was at 158, I remember my husband looked at me a certain way. I was able to do stuff. I was able to play golf better and pickleball, and I loved it. It was so fun. And when people saw me, they're like, Chris, you look so good in that dress. That sort of stuff. Which I'm like, heck yeah, let's run it, 158. Okay? So cannot lose weight. Cool. What evidence do you have to prove that's true? Because a belief has to have some evidence that it's true. Has to have some evidence. I've lost weight in the past, but it always comes back. All right, so losing weight is long-term success. Because people say it's true. People said that menopause is harder to lose weight in. Okay. And then hormones. Because hormones. That's why. Hormones. I can lose weight. Cool. How do we know that that's true? That it's possible to lose weight? Well, also, you kind of already said at the beginning, I lost weight in the past because other people have lost weight during menopause. I can name a bunch of them. Okay? Fat loss is calories in, calories out. Age doesn't really change that. Because let's say as you get older, your metabolism gets slower. Okay, then we just scooch it over to the same thing. We just move the goalpost. Okay? If I knew more about how the body works, it would probably be easier. Yeah. So then we go, okay, of these two beliefs, we have facts about both of them, and we have things that support these beliefs of it. I can and cannot. Which one gets us where we want to go? And luckily she chose right, because we got her down to 158 pounds, and it was awesome. It was awesome. In about 9 months. I think it was actually closer to 7, but we'll call it 9 for fun. Okay. So do you see how we can go in your environment and go, okay, I'm holding on to a belief. And you also, too, might be holding on to conflicting beliefs. I can and cannot lose weight. I need to prep, but I hate prepping. I need to work out, but I hate working out. I want to work out and I hate working out. See what I'm saying? Those sort of things are going to make it to where we just short circuit. We don't have an answer, and so we don't have a decision, so we don't make moves. And so with function, that's how we work things. So for you, use this example, use this to go, all right, I have a belief of that seems like it's leading me away from my goal. How can I say that it's true? How can I show that it's false? And if we can stack some in both directions, because the belief is only true to us, we get to choose the one that's the right one. Make sense? Now, when it comes to fitness, function, and fuel, here are all the things that you're going to need to learn, that you're going to need to do. Okay? With fitness, you have to find the sweet spot for fitness as to how often, how much to recover, duration, program design, these sort of things. Understanding overload principle, right workouts to fit your continued goals, because you can't keep doing the same workout over and over again, right? It won't work. Learn how to warm up properly. Learn how to cool down properly. It's kind of like if I lift the same 5 pounds every single day, I'm never going to get to 50, right? You got to progressively continue to change. Personalized movements to fit your current fitness level. This is like learning the varieties of how to make a push-up harder and easier, and how to make it harder in certain aspects and how to make it easier in certain aspects. There's 7 different things you can do to make something more challenging. One of them is weights, but there's 6 other ones where you don't have weight. Okay. Personalized movements to fit your current fitness goals, said that one. How to make your fitness be part of fuel, how to treat injury, how to mobilize, how to stay out of pain, these sort of things. Fuel. Here's some, and this is not all of them, it's just some I could get down in the thing without needing a magnifying glass. Understanding macros and calories. If you do not understand calories and macros, it is impossible for you to lose weight and keep it off. Impossible. Will not happen. It is the bedrock, it is the foundation of everything with our health, is understanding macros and calories. So if you don't understand that, I have videos outlining that, okay? So watch them, they're great. I taught my 7-year-old them, she's 8 now. I taught my 8-year-old them, so if I can teach my 8-year-old, you can figure it out too. Understand how much you need to do, how much you need per season that you're in. So if you're in fat loss, if you're in metabolic reset, if you're in maintenance, or if you're in muscle building, okay? Understand the relationship between certain foods in your body, aka foods that don't cause inflammation, right? Make your body run well. Finding supplements that aren't expensive P. You can read all of them, okay? And then in function, priority, stress, dichotomy, belief, asking better questions, want versus don't want. I'm going to touch on that one. Most people have bad and good and bad, bad and good, okay? The reality is there's no bad and good. It's just, is it getting me what I want, or is it getting me not what I want? And when you start looking at food as want versus don't want based on your goal, it makes it so much easier for you to go, well, I'm not missing out on anything, because by as an example, by practicing guitar, it's not going to make me a better volleyball player. So like, I'm not missing out by not playing guitar because I want to be a better volleyball player. Makes temptation a heck of a lot less. Okay. Intention, cheat, environment, value, making goals you actually can hit and that you want to hit. Okay, that you're desiring them. Finding blind spots, peeling the onion. Okay, as you continue to lose weight, your body and yourself is like an onion. You've probably used food for such a long time, like myself, as a way to cope with stress and anger and upset and depression and all these sort of things. And when we strip that away from you, we get to see how you really operate and handle stress in those situations. We got to find ways as we peel this onion for you to plug those things up and use that stress and things in a more productive way, so that we don't turn to food again, or alcohol, or drugs, or pornography, or cheating, or whatever it might be, or anger, in order for you to get through the stress. So if you don't have that thing figured out, if you don't do those things, it's going to be impossible for you, again, to run away from emotional eating and binge eating and things like this, okay? So you see why and see how, like, it's pretty simple. If you're somebody like me who spent 50 grand in the education for 14 years to understand all of these things. I've invested time and money into it, tons of time and tons of money. And so for you, really, you got two choices, and one is great. The second one's great too. Just ask yourself, which one are you short on? Are you short on time, or are you short on money? As in, if you're looking at your schedule, do you have an hour, hour and a half daily to research, study, plan, prep, design, all of the stuff when it comes to health and fitness? Do you have that time? Do you have 8 hours a week to dedicate to finding out how to design, prep, plan your meals? Do you have that time? Or do you have more money than you have time? Because there's some of you watching this that have more time. You might not have such a demanding job where you're working 40 plus hours a week, and that you don't have to shuttle kids to dance and to dentist appointments and to school and back from school and church events and all family get-togethers and stuff. Maybe you don't have that. So you might have more time to invest in spending time on YouTube, looking into research and figuring out how this stuff works. But there's a lot of you that have made it to this part where you're like, I don't have time to do that. I don't have that sort of time. And now 8 hours every week, that might be a little hyperbole, but it also might not be, because how much more time do you have left to sit around and not get results? How much more bandwidth do you have to stay stuck, to stay frustrated, to stay desperate, to try the pills again, to try these things again, to just throw money away in hopes that maybe it'll work this time? How much more time do you have for that? Probably not that much. And if that's you, the option is, just like what I did, hiring the best and brightest people that I know, spending hours in seminars, diving into books. I got a stack of books over here in my office full of stuff to teach how to do the mindsets, the food, the planning, the prepping, how to design stuff, all of that, the certifications. Spend all that time if you want. I've already done it. I've already done it. And so when you tell me where you are, go over a couple questions, see what the heck you're struggling with. I can go, oh, here are the problems you're running into. Here are the things that you need to do. So it takes the guesswork completely around tons of trial and error. And we go, these are the steps. This is how much food. Here's how to plan the meals. Here's the groceries. Here are the workouts. Get to work. Saves you so much time. But because I've invested tons of money into this stuff, you need to invest money into it too. Because you're buying back your time with finances, because you have more finances than you do with time. And so instead of you spending $500,000 in 14 years of your life doing this, you get to pay a fraction of time and money for what someone else has spent their life finding. A super duper smart guy. You might have heard of him. His name's Alex Hormozi. And if you haven't, that's fine too. Okay, that's fine too. But Alex Hormozi said, what I do is I'll spend money to buy people's lifetimes worth of work. So if I go and spend 10 grand on 3 different people to teach me the thing they spent their entire life on, I've now lived 3 lifetimes. And I've gained 3 lifetimes worth of knowledge. How often would you do that? How often should you do that? As often as possible. And unlike anything else in life, one thing that you cannot stop and just restart back is your health. You are either always consistently in the decline or incline. You're either decaying or you're progressing. And if you don't increase, if you don't progress forward, you never stay still. You don't go back a month and get back to where you were. You're not just staying there. It's not like I use the example, it's like guitar. Or if I get a guitar and I practice for a little bit, set it down, come back to a month later, I'd probably give me a couple minutes and I can figure it out. A month off could send you months in the wrong direction. A year off could send you years in the other direction. And if you're somebody who's got kids, who's got a crazy lifestyle, based on your work schedule with your career, your family, your church, your spouse. You don't have the kind of time to continue to punt it down until your time here is up. And the less time you spend on your health is the less time you get to stay here. How much more time do you want to have here, reaching your mission, spending time with your family? The answer is probably a lot. So if that's you, all you got to do is click the link down below in the schedule. You'll click it to schedule the time to talk to me. Okay, on there, all we're going to do is we're going to go over where you currently are. We're going to go over, hey, where is it you want to get to? What things are kind of struggling, what's in the middle there that's kind of like getting in the way of you getting from where you are to where you want to go, so we can establish, oh, here are the things that you need. If it's something that I can't help with, or that it just doesn't make sense for us to get working together, I'll point you in the right direction. I'll get you moving to exactly where you need to go so that you can get the results you're looking for. Okay, even if it's not with me, because I'm not here to take every single person on that I ever talk to, ever. I want to make sure if I can help you, I can help you. If I can't help you, I'm not going to be selfish enough to just pretend like I can. With that being said, all you got to do to join in here is click the link down below. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel so that you can get all the info that I teach other struggling parents that are crushing it in their life, that are kicking ass in their business, in their finances, everything. They got everything they want, but the body that's just struggling and lagging behind. If that's you, this channel's for you. So make sure you subscribe to it. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.